When I think about Ad Astra, it's not like those typical space movies, you know? It's more than just spaceships and aliens.
Yeah, it is.
It really makes you think about what it means to be human, even with all this, like, cosmic stuff happening. We'll look at how the movie uses these big ideas like, time, family, especially fathers and sons, and what it means to be truly free.
One of the things that really stands out in Ad Astra is how it plays with our sense of time, right? I mean, we're talking about the vastness of space, the cosmic scale of time.
Yeah, it's like mind-boggling when you try to wrap your head around it.
And then you contrast that with the smallness of human life.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective.
It does. And the film shows us how time can affect relationships, especially across these massive distances.
Right, like with Roy and his father.
Exactly. Roy has this image of his father, this larger-than-life astronaut who vanished years ago. But when they finally meet, it's not what Roy expected.
Yeah, Clifford's not the hero he imagined. It's almost like time and I guess the pressure of his mission, kind of broke him.
It's almost as if that idealized image crumbles under the weight of all that time and all that distance.
It's like time built up a wall between them.
And that's something I think a lot of us can relate to, even if we haven't dealt with space travel. Time changes people. It can put distance between us, even in relationships here on Earth.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everyone's been there.
And for Roy, this distance is so profound. I mean, his emotional detachment, his difficulty connecting with people, it all goes back to that missing father figure.
That makes sense. It's like he's internalized the coldness of space,
It's a great point, because the film uses its visuals to reflect that inner state. You see it in those stark white environments, the emptiness of space.
Yeah, it all feels very isolating. It really gets under your skin.
And then you see it mirrored in Clifford, the father. He's so obsessed with finding alien life that he's lost touch with his humanity. It's like a warning sign, almost, a cautionary tale.
Yeah. About what happens when you lose yourself in a quest for something out there and forget about what's important down here.
Exactly. You end up detached, isolated from what truly matters.
And their relationship, it's not simple. It's not just a son searching for his dad. It's about the impact a parent has on their child, whether they're there or not.
Absolutely. And it all ties back to this theme of time. Roy's whole life has been shaped by this absence, by the weight of this unresolved relationship with his father.
You feel that weight, that burden in every scene. Like Roy's built up walls to protect himself from the pain of that loss.
Which makes the moment when he lets go of his father in space even more powerful. It's the peak, the culmination of their whole journey, of years of longing and unanswered questions.
And for Roy, it's the start of something new.
A new beginning.
Yeah, like he realizes he can't force his father to be who he wants him to be.
Yeah.
He has to let go of that idealized image and find his own way.
And that's a huge step in his journey.
Absolutely. He's finally starting to break free from the past, from all that emotional baggage. Which leads us to something really interesting about how the film portrays freedom.
It's almost like a paradox, isn't it? The title Ad Astra means to the stars.
Yeah.
But the true journey in the film is inward.
It's about self-discovery, about confronting who you are.
Yeah, it is. It's about finding freedom, but not in the way you might think.
Right. It's not about blasting off to another galaxy.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the things that are holding you back internally. Like for Roy, it's his father's legacy, that expectation to be this great explorer.
And it's also about learning to connect with people, let them in.
Precisely. He's been pushing everyone away his whole life. It's almost like by going into the emptiness of space, he has to face the emptiness inside himself.
And that's where he can start to change.
Yeah, that's where the transformation begins. One thing that always struck me about Ad Astra is how it uses the imagery of water.
Oh, yeah. Like in that opening scene when Roy's falling back to Earth.
Right. And throughout the film, water keeps appearing, but it's not always peaceful or life-giving.
It's often dangerous, even threatening.
Like on the moon, when those pirates attack and the rover crashes into that underground lake.
That was intense.
It makes you think, right, like maybe facing your emotions, being vulnerable can be scary.
It's definitely not easy.
But it's necessary if you want to truly connect with people. Otherwise, you become like Clifford, just drifting, always searching for something external to fill the void.
And that's never going to work.
Right. That's why the film's message about human connection is so powerful. It's saying, hey, space is amazing and all, but what really matters is the relationships we have here and now.
Our connections with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Roy ultimately chooses. He comes back to Earth. He tries to rebuild those connections.
It's a tough choice, though, right? Because He could have easily followed in his father's footsteps, kept searching for the unknown.
He could have, but he decides to embrace reality with all its messiness.
And I think that's something a lot of us struggle with, you know? We're always searching for something more, something bigger.
Especially in today's world.
Yeah. Ad Astra reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful journey is the one that brings us back to ourselves, back to the people we love.
And the film manages to do all this while being visually spectacular. It uses those grand space settings to highlight how fragile we are, how important those human connections are.
And the power of choosing love over isolation.
Absolutely. It really makes you think about what it means to be human.
It does. And it leaves you with a sense of hope. You know, like, even when things feel overwhelming, we can still find meaning and connection right here, right now.
It's a powerful message.
It is. So to everyone listening, if you haven't seen Ad Astra, I highly recommend it.
Definitely.
And even if you have seen it, maybe watch it again with these ideas in mind.
You might see it in a whole new light.
You probably will.
Yeah.
It's a film that really stays with you and makes you ask yourself, what am I chasing after and what truly matters in this crazy universe we're all part of? It's like Ad Astra takes that whole idea of space exploration and turns it on its head. It's not about conquering planets or planting flags.
It's not.
It's more about finding peace, you know, and connection right here, not out there.
That's a really interesting way to put it. Like, it challenges that traditional idea of exploration as, like, going outward, pushing boundaries.
Right.
Ad Astra says the most important exploration is internal.
Yeah, it's a journey into yourself, and that's how it figures out what freedom really means. It's not about escaping to the stars.
It's not about physical escape.
It's about letting go of the past, the burdens, the expectations, all those walls he's built up.
Exactly. Like, when he finally has that confrontation with his father, he sees that the image he's had of Clifford all these years.
Yeah.
It's not real. It doesn't match the man his father has become.
And it's a turning point for Roy.
It is. He chooses to let go of that idealized image. He accepts his father, flaws and all.
And starts to create his own path.
And that's a powerful act of liberation.
It really is. And then he chooses to come back to Earth, to reconnect with the people in his life.
It shows how much he's changed.
He could have kept running.
Yeah.
You know, followed in his father's footsteps, kept searching for something out there.
He could have, but he didn't.
But he makes a different choice. And I think that idea really resonates with a lot of us sci-fi fans, you know. Even with all the wonders of the universe, the most important things are the connections we have with each other.
Absolutely. And Ad Astra really drives that point home. It's saying that what makes us human isn't technology or conquering space.
It's about empathy, compassion, love. Those are the things that truly matter.
And the film manages to explore these themes in a way that's both thought-provoking and emotionally engaging.
Yeah, get you thinking about our place in the cosmos, but also about the importance of our relationships, you know?
It's a reminder that we need to look inward as well as outward. Explore the depths of ourselves while we're looking at the stars.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Ad Astra, I want to leave you with this. The next time you look up at the night sky, don't just think about the vastness of space.
Don't just think about the mysteries out there.
Remember the incredible power of human connection.
The power to find meaning and purpose right here, right now, not on some distant star.
That's a perfect thought to end on. So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.